What's up, guys? Emilio back again, here to bring you another exciting theory on Dragon Ball Super. In fact, there will be a few theories bundled into one. So today I will talk more about the abilities and powers of the upper tier gods and some other special abilities they may have. I will expand more from my last theory on the god above all, so I know you guys will find this exciting. So, let's get started. At the start of Dragon Ball Super, we have been introduced to more and more gods. But what has been the most attention-grabbing are the most powerful ones, so let's talk about them. In this video, I will skip the planetary gods, the gods of destruction, and the Kais, as they are not considered top tier, and I already sort of talked about them in my last video that you can find in the link below. I also want to thank Matesus for giving me the idea to expand more on the powers and abilities of the gods, so thank you, Mate. I also hope I pronounced your name right. I apologize if I didn't, dude. And just so you all know, I do read the comments in the comment section, and will try to make theories based off of some of your ideas, as long as I can find enough evidence and facts from the show to piece together a good story. So, keep those ideas rolling, guys. But if I do get, let's say, over 1,000 comments, I will most likely not respond to all of them because it does take a long time, but I'll do my best. Anyway, I want to start by jumping into the abilities of Zeno's Attendants. Yes, I know some of you have requested that I talk about them, so here you go. The Attendants appear to be very powerful warriors because they protect the Supreme Ruler Zeno, and I am sure that not just anyone can fit or be qualified to fit the role as a bodyguard of Zeno. The Attendants appear to be capable of creating portals under their feet and have the ability to warp through universes, as we saw at the end of episode 41 where they warp Zeno back to his weird looking house. The Attendants will block anyone that approaches Zeno, even powerful characters like Goku. The Attendants act in unison with each other and stand in a very disciplined posture, motionlessly hovering above ground for most of the time, almost as if they are copies or duplicates of one another, meaning they are very likely expendable. We did witness Zeno get mad and threaten to wipe out his own guards when Goku said he was too busy to play, even though Zeno needs his attendants for a purpose. From what we have seen, there are 2 bodyguards per Zeno. My theory is that there are more than just 2 or even 4 attendants per Zeno, and here is why I think that. In the Future Trunks timeline in episode 67, when the future Zeno first appeared, he was not accompanied by his attendants. Later, future Zeno erased the entire timeline, which probably included erasing his attendants. When Goku went to remind the 2 Zenos in episode 77 of the Tournament of Power, I believe this was the only scene. There might have been another, I could be wrong, of the 2 Zenos being surrounded by 4 bodyguards. So this more than likely means that there are more than just 2 guards in the present timeline, since future Zeno erased his whole future timeline. So if there are more than 4 of the same guards, then I have reason to believe that they are certainly high up in the god tier, but are not as powerful as the angels, since they are expendable and seem to be the only ones nervous when Goku called Zeno Zenchen. The guards must be powerful since they do protect Zeno, but not nearly as powerful as the angels. The angels were never threatened to be erased in the series, and we see the Grand Priest laugh when Goku calls Zeno Zenchen. And when Goku first shook hands with Zeno, the guards and gods of destruction were nervous, while Whis and Vados kept their eyes closed calmly. So because the guards appear to be afraid of Zeno, I will put the angels above them. Also, another reason why I think Zeno has bodyguards is because he is gullible, which I will get to later. Next, we have the angels. I already spoke about them in the God above Zeno theory I made, but I will briefly mention their abilities. They can 1. Manipulate time to a certain extent, and in Whis' case rewind time up to 3 minutes. They can create matter at will and speed up the process of birth for a character. They can also travel between universes, as we saw Vados go into Universe 7 with Champa. There is still a lot of mystery to them, which is why I want to focus on the most mysterious angel, and that is the Grand Priest. But I will get to him soon. We all know about Zeno, the ruler of all, and there is a reason why I am putting him before the Grand Priest. While Zeno has more power to eradicate things, the Grand Priest has something else. So let's first talk about Zeno-sama, the king of all. Zeno is the supreme ruler of all 12 universes, and in the past ruled over 18 before he destroyed the other 6. As I mentioned in my last video, we have not officially seen Zeno create anything yet. Yes, I have heard many people say in the comments that he created the Zeno button, but if you guys look in the manga and anime, he never said he created the button. He just made it appear in his hand. So here is the manga, and here is the clip in the anime. Please take a good look at these both guys. So let's say if he did create the button, what would be important is we have not seen Zeno create life yet. He is capable of erasing space but not time. So if he is not the creator of all, then there are now 2 characters that could be more powerful than him that I have identified, and I will explain why. Also, I want to highlight from my last video the weaknesses of Zeno, and that is that Zeno needed the Grand Priest's help to know about the fighters for each universe, which is odd because the creator of all should know about his creations. Not to mention, there is a Zeno in each timeline, so who oversees the timelines? Also, both future and present Zeno could not keep up with this with speed. The Grand Priest gave them a new feature in the God Pad to keep up with the speed of mortals, which is evidence of a weakness or a lack in speed. So now that I have talked about Zeno or the Zenos, let's go to the next character, the Grand Priest. Daishinkan has many capacities. For example, he can immune the abilities of characters like not allowing them to fly in the Tournament of Power or Land of Void. The Grand Priest does not need a staff, and it is probably due to him being so powerful, and he can very likely manipulate time better than his children, but of course, to a certain extent. He can also open the gates to the Land of Void itself and teleport multiple beings at once. Daishinkan has many other abilities and is the true definition of power, and I do not only mean that as a physical aspect. I mean, yes, he is physically powerful and in fact one of the top 5 in the multiverse, but there is another reason why I think he is more powerful than Zeno, and the answer is knowledge, and his ability to manipulate the Zenos. If you are so knowledgeable that you are able to manipulate the most powerful character in the world, then you are by definition more powerful. In episode 82, the Grand Priest was comfortable in calling the shots and even capable of manipulating the 2 Zenos and holding off on the fight between Toppo and Goku. The Zenos wanted the fight to go on, but listened to the Grand Priest, and that right there is an example of power. Also, another example, the kings and presidents of each country are not necessarily strong on their own, but do have a lot of power because they are able to manipulate the minds of thousands of millions of people. So not only can the Grand Priest manipulate or outsmart the 2 Zenos, but he can also manipulate time. I know I have said this before, that it is possible that the angels could be immune to Zeno's erasure technique, since they are exempt from erasure of the universes that lose during the Tournament of Power, even though it is not confirmed. So hypothetically, let's say the angels can be erased. Let's say that one day the Zenos get pissed off at the Grand Priest, so they decide to erase him. They would begin to raise their hands, and at that moment, because the Daishinkan is faster, he would likely be able to go back in time before the Zenos can erase him. Daishinkan could probably snap his fingers, go back in time, and formulate another plan to manipulate the 2 Zenos until he succeeds in what he wants them to do. So if Daishinkan is able to manipulate time like his son, but to a better degree, he might be able to rewind time to the length of the Tournament of Power, which is 48 minutes instead of 3. Now, I have heard other people say this theory before about him being able to rewind time for 48 minutes, so I just want to let you know that I'm not copying anybody, I am just simply rephrasing it. I believe I heard it on Reddit, but I don't remember who to give credit to. But anyway, I think it makes you question why they made the length of the tournament 48 minutes. Is that truly the limit that the Grand Priest is capable in rewinding time? Personally, if the Grand Priest rewinds time when the Tournament of Power ends, that would be stupid and anticlimactic. But at the same time, would be a good way for the Zenos to get more action if they host another Tournament of Power and choose to have all the universes participate again. By erasing the universes, they are making everyone fight at their best, since a lot is at stake and the Zenos want more action to happen. So it would make sense in that way, although it probably will not happen in Super, or of course not this year, but in a later Dragon Ball series. Now, moving on to the next character, and I know you guys saw this one coming. The one who I believe is the god above all gods in Dragon Ball, who is the legendary Dragon God Zalama. While Zalama's true powers are unknown, it is speculated that his powers are also limitless, since he created a dragon that can grant limitless wishes. His name was only mentioned once in the series by Zeno. He is known to be the creator of what the show is about, the Super Dragon Balls. I have mentioned in my other video that he could be the one above Zeno, and I truly think that because he is a character that could possibly create life if his powers are also limitless like the Super Dragon Balls. With one wish, you can kill a god, undo what Zeno did, like bring back planet Sadala, and possibly wish to have Zeno transported to another timeline. I have said this to people in the comment section, and I will say it again in this video. Zeno is a god, not the god. He certainly wields a lot of power, but his control is over space, not time. Otherwise there would not be a Zeno and future Zeno, only one. So by that logic, someone who has complete control over time would technically be more powerful than Zeno, as time is greater than space. If Zalama's powers are limitless, then he should have the ability to manipulate the flow of time. And one last thing I want to mention, because of the differences in the flow of time, the present Zeno and future Zeno have differences. One is left-handed and the other is right-handed. I talked about this in my Demons and Zamasu interrupting the Tournament of Power theory, and if the flow of time can change a characteristic of Zeno, then it goes to show that Zalama could be more powerful than Zeno if Zalama can manipulate time. Anyway, it would make sense for Zalama to be the true god above all, since the show is called Dragon Ball Super. One other thing we can speculate is for some reason Zalama has an interest in Universe 6 and 7, and I have a feeling it is because of the Namekians. Zalama's Dragon Balls are located in those two universes, and as I mentioned in my last video, he might have an interest in the Namekians since they may be his disciples. And the Namekians originally carved out their own version of the orbs to create their own planetary dragon that can grant wishes. If Zalama is still around, he is very likely hanging out in another timeline, or in Universe 7, or somewhere outside of the multiverse. I did find it odd that he was not invited to the Zeno exhibition match where most of the gods were invited to, except for the other angels from Universe 13 through 18, assuming they are still alive. So, since the show is ending, Zalama's character will remain a mystery unless if he appears at the end of the Tournament of Power, or in a future movie, or if the series continues again with a new name like Dragon Ball Gods or Dragon Ball Ultra. I don't know, could be any name. But I have a feeling that keeping his character a mystery will keep the fans interested in the show and will help the Toei writers create more arcs or possible storylines. There is still so much the franchise could do, and of course, they have a lot of explaining to do, which is why I will keep this channel active to explain things and keep making theories. So look forward to that, guys. Either way, let me know what you guys think. Do you believe that there are more than 4 Zeno attendants in the present timeline? And that the Grand Priest could be considered to be more powerful than Zeno because he is able to manipulate him and possibly rewind time to undo his own errors? And is Zalama capable of undoing everything Zeno does? And because his powers are limitless, does he also have the ability to manipulate the flow of time in each timeline? I would love to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below, and remember, anything can happen in Super. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.